specialty Gulada.
And I am Girly Motoy. Today we'll be discussing all about endogenic processes. But before that, have you ever had a background of what is endogenic processes? We'll see that later. So stay tuned. So let's start our discussion all about endogenic process. What is endogenic process? Endogenic processes are geological processes that occur beneath the Earth's surface. It is associated with energy originating in the interior of the solid Earth. The ground we live on is moving all the time. The forces within the Earth that cause the ground to move are what we call endogenic forces. So if endogenic processes occurs beneath the Earth and associated with energy, how does it work? Endogenic processes works when the ground moves. Rock layers at the surface are broken, twisted, and shaken. Land is destroyed in many places and created in other places. When the land is shaped by endogenic forces, we call this endogenic processes. The main endogenic processes are folding and faulting, or tectonic movements. They take place mainly along the plate boundaries, which are zones that are not stable. Endogenic processes cause many major landforms. This time, let's talk about what is folding, the main endogenic processes. Folding is when two factors push towards each other from opposite sides. The rock layers will bend into folds. The process by which folds are formed due to compressional forces known as folding. There are large-scale and small-scale folds. Large-scale folds are found mainly along destructive plate boundaries. How about faulting? How does it work? Well, faulting is the fracturing and displacement of more brittle rock strata along a fault plane, either caused by tension or compression. A break in rock along which a vertical or horizontal rock movement has occurred is called a fault. The process of forming fault is faulting. The line of fault which appears on the land surface is known as fault line. These lines are often lines of weakness which allows molten rocks to rise up onto the Earth's surface when there is active volcanic activity nearby. There are three types of fault which are caused by different endogenic forces. These are normal fault, also known as convergence, the reverse fault, also known as divergence, and the true fault, commonly known as transform. When we talk about normal fault, it is a deep sleeve fault in which the block above the fault has moved downward relative to the block below. This type of faulting occurs in response to extension and is often observed in the western United States basin and ridge province and along oceanic ridge systems. While in the reverse fault, the block above the fault moves up relative to the block below the fault. This fault motion is caused by compressional forces and result in shortening. A reverse fault is called a thrust fault if the dip of fault is dip of the fault plane is small. While on the other hand, a fault which is called third fault occurred in the rocks above a low angle thrust fault and striking approximately at right angles to the strike of the thrust fault. Since we are done with the main endogenic processes, let's go to the endogenic processes that are subsequent to the main ones. These are the volcanism, also known as volcanic activity. The second one is the metamorphism, and the last one is earthquake, also known as volcanic activity. First, let's talk about what is volcanism or magmatism, also known as volcanic activity or igneous activity. Magma beneath the crust is under very great pressure. When folding and faulting occur, cracks or fractures which are lines of weakness are created. When these lines of weakness develop downward in the crust and reach the magma, they will release the pressure in the magma. This allows magma to rise up along the lines of weakness and intrude into the crust. Some magma may even reach the Earth's surface and some don't. There are two types of volcanism: intrusive volcanism and extrusive volcanism. First, let's talk about what is volcanism. Volcanism or magmatism, also known as volcanic activity or igneous activity. Magma beneath the crust is under very great pressure when folding and faulting occur. Cracks or fractures, which are lines of weakness, are created. When these lines of weakness develop downward in the crust and reach the magma, they will release the pressure in the magma. This allows magma to rise up along the lines of weakness and intrude into the crust. Some magma may even reach the Earth's surface and some don't. Before we continue, let's talk about what is magma. Magma is a mixture of molten rock, minerals, and gases. This mixture is usually made up of a hot liquid base called the melt. Minerals crystallize by the melt from the surrounding confines and dissolve gases. Magma originates in the lower part of the Earth's crust and in the upper portion of the mantle known as asthenosphere. Have you ever wondered how this magma formed? Well, at about 30 to 65 km below the Earth's surface, the temperature is high enough to melt rocks into magma. The reason why it is difficult to drill holes deep into the crust is that the temperature rises about 300 degrees for every kilometer. The asthenosphere, which is between 100 to 350 km deep, is so hot that most of the rock is melted. The melts flow very slowly because it is under intense pressure. Magma reaches 600 degrees Celsius. At this juncture, let's talk about what is metamorphism. Metamorphism is an endogenic process which occurs when there is pressure and heat applied to geologic structures, which leads to the formation of metamorphic rocks. The last but not the least, let's talk about the endogenic processes that are subsequent, none other than the earthquake. An earthquake or seismic activity is a sudden shaking or vibration in the Earth's crust. When plates suddenly move past each other, the built strain is released along the fault and the rock fractures. An earthquake also can be triggered by molten rock moving up into the chamber of a volcano before eruption. At the last part, let's talk about or let's summarize this lesson. Endogenic processes are that is formed or occurring beneath the surface of the earth. The main endogenic are folding and faulting or tectonic movements. The subsequent endogenic processes are volcanism, metamorphism, and earthquakes. Endogenic processes cause many major landforms features. Endogenic processes have been responsible for shaping the Earth's geologic structures and the formation of many of the most important mineral resources. So thank you for listening and watching. So please do like and subscribe. Goodbye.